Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, Radio Bypass. We got another great chat today with one of my favorite guitar players and just an all-around great musician. Mr. Frank Hannon from Tesla is joining us. Thanks for stopping by Radio Bypass.
It's great to be on Radio Bypass, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for hitting that record button. We were just having a great conversation, and I thought we would share it with everybody since we're on a roll here, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I like. That's why I call these chats, too, because I just like people to join the conversation, like we're sitting on the couch just BSing, right?
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on the couch here. I've got my buddy Ryder. Here's Ryder. There he is.
Hey, Ryder. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Ryder's a happy bonkers boxer. And, life is good, man. I'm in Florida. I'm spending time with family here. And my father-in-law, Dickie Betts, we're spending time with him. And got a lot of good things on the horizon.
That's awesome, man. Yes, you do. And I guess we should talk about some of those good things that are coming up very soon for you. First, the new Frank Hannon single releasing, I guess that's next week, December 6th, Fool's Delight. Looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah. Finally, I'm putting it out. Fool's Delight is a song that I actually recorded, I want to say maybe even 10 years ago. It's been sitting in my library for a long time. It's a song that I really have always liked and loved, but my wife in particular, she's always loved it. And she was like really encouraging me to get it out. So, as you know, last year at Out of Bounds Brewery, I did a little acoustic set there and I performed it and made a video of Fool's Delight there and have been sitting on that for a year. It's been a crazy, Tesla's been so busy. Anyway, yes, fast forwarding to now, I am finally putting it out, and it's a fun song that the writing process of it, I wrote it instantly. It's one of those songs that just came to me really quick, and it was fun, and it wasn't laborious at all to write it. And then it's just been sitting there this whole time, and it still sounds as good as I wrote it 10 years ago. So really excited about it, and I'm putting it out now because I'm doing some dates with Devin Allman and Dwayne Betts and Jackie Green and a cast of a whole bunch of people for the Allman Betts Family Revival coming up in December. And I wanted to have a new song out at the same time when I did that. And so here we are. Fool's Delight's coming out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great song. I had the pleasure of hearing it that night at Out of Bounds, and I just loved it. And what I was going to tell you too, that particular night, I've always liked from your Gypsy album, The Hills of California, right? Beautiful song. But
Thanks,
that
man.
night in particular, I don't know if you had extra emotion in your soul or what that came out of your voice and your fingers that night, but that performance of it that night just gave me goosebumps. It was so good.
Oh, well, thanks. It was probably the cold. 'Cause it was that night, man. I remember singing and like steam was coming out of my mouth, and all the fans that were in the crowd, when they would cheer for me, it was like steam was coming out, because that was a cold night. Remember?
Yeah, it was. Well, maybe that was it. I don't know, but it was.
Yeah, thank you, man. The Hills of California is one of my favorite tracks that I've written because it's kind of autobiographical. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Growing up in Northern California, and it's just in my blood. That area of the hills up there near Placerville and Georgetown and the American River. And, when I was a kid, my mom and my stepdad, we would just go camping all through those areas, and that's where I learned to swim, was in the American River.
Oh, wow.
So I wrote a song about it. And, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful song. But like I say, the performance that night was just, I don't know, extra special, I thought.
Thanks. That was a magical night. And Out of Bounds Brewery has been very good to me. We did a heavy metal hippie beer there a few years ago, and I'm still working that off. A lot of calories in that double IPA, but it was so good. It was so fun to make that beer. It's the first time I'd ever experimented with hops and grains and the whole brewing process. And so whenever I do a show at Out of Bounds, it's a very special occasion, and I'm glad we captured it in the video for Fool's Delight. And yeah, and I'm glad you were there, man.
Yeah, I was glad I was able to get there as well. It was awesome. So the song's releasing on Spotify and everything on the 6th, and then soon after, the video that was shot there will show up too, right?
Yeah, I haven't decided when that'll be, but I might do a live chat comment thing and plan some special event for the video. But I figured I would let the song audio on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, wherever people get their music from, the audio of it, I want that to come out first so people can listen to it and get a taste of the song. And then the visual video part of it will come out maybe a week later.
Got it. Yeah, you did that with Octopus too. You had that little special video thing that you did.
Yeah.
Q&A and stuff. And Octopus, another very interesting song you put together, sir.
Oh, thanks, man. I threw some I throw curveballs to my fans, or when I do my solo music, I'm always experimenting and trying different things. And I like you got the Octopus mug.
I do, and the puzzle. We got the puzzle last year, and my daughter and I put it together when she was here for Christmas break.
Well, that's awesome, man. So I'll tell you a little bit about Octopus.
Yeah, that was so interesting, Frank.
That was my crazy adventure in improvising. There's an art to playing music. There's all kinds of aspects to playing music: songwriting, jamming, playing live, recording. I mean, it's endless, the amount of different things that are associated with being a musician and having it be as an artist and being whatever, your livelihood, your life, basically.
Right.
But that song, Octopus, was a recording that I had totally improvised every part on it in the studio, in my recording studio, starting with the bass. Because I love playing all the instruments. I learned to play dabbling with all the instruments as a kid to make 4-track recordings to get my ideas for songwriting. So I learned to play bass and keyboards and organ. I mean, obviously guitar is my first love, and I wish I could sing, but I struggle with that. But the instruments, okay, recording them. So that song started with bass, and if you listen to the bass does that riff, and it's hypnotic, and it just goes and it goes, but it never repeats itself. It's just improvising, and improvising is an art in music that is something that I don't get to do at all with Tesla. Tesla is a very structured song band that is great, and I love Tesla, don't get me wrong, but I don't get to improvise much with Tesla. So Octopus is a total improvisation, starting with the bass. And then once I recorded that bass for 6 minutes, I went back and I played the keyboard, one take. I played the Fender Rhodes sound, and I one take just jammed that keyboard. And then I listen to that and go, wow, okay, this is really different. And then I improvised some guitar and some drums, and then the whole song just came together as a improvisation. I can't even say it.
Improvisational. I know it's a tough word.
Improvisational thing, and I'm very proud of it. It's a lot of fun. I don't think I could ever play it again the same way twice.
Mhm.
But I did put a band together with Gannon Harriman and Kelly Smith and JT Lux, and we played Octopus live once at a Christmas show in Roseville last year.
Oh, yeah, I think I was there. Was at that was it was it called the Opera House?
Goldfields.
Oh, at Goldfields. No, maybe I wasn't there then. I don't think I saw you at Goldfields.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then the artwork is done by a local. Oh, let this see. Show everyone your cup.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get a good view of it. My lighting in here is not the greatest.
Yeah, that artwork that was done there is done by Char, and Char is an amazing artist in the Sacramento area. And she's a photographer who photographed my Gypsy Highway album cover, and she did that psychedelic octopus for me. That's on the artwork, and
It's really cool. I mean, it's hard to tell in the lighting here, but it's really very colorful. I mean, it's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. This year I've had a lot of time to reflect on the work I've done with Tesla. I'm very proud of it.
As you
But
should be.
beyond that and outside of that, I've been going crazy for the past 20 years. I didn't realize how much work I've done as a solo artist. Uh, I was looking at my YouTube channel, and there's a song called Ride Strong that I'm really,
Yeah.
I forgot about. And then there's another song and a little documentary that I did for a song called Southside.
I was just going
And
to mention that if you didn't, because that sounded, talk about autobiographical, sounded like you were reminiscing growing up. And
yes, yeah, talking about Bobby Reed and Johnny, playing drums with me in the garage. And there's a video on YouTube if anyone's interested in. Go check it out. It's a little mini documentary that I did, and I take the viewer and the listener down to South Sacramento where I grew up, and I show the old house that we jammed in and the old Gent Check Hall and the stuff there that we did in South Sacramento in the late 70s.
yeah, I think I saw that when the song was new, because that was like 2020. You put that song out, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a while ago. And so anyways, I must have been going nuts, man. I didn't realize how much stuff that I have created outside of Tesla.
well,
There's also
yeah.
Hills of California too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how that you ever sleep is what I'm always thinking when I think about you, because, Tesla does a lot of dates, obviously. You got your solo stuff going on. Then you were producing all these young bands, and now you're involved with Novocaine. So I'm thinking this man has
Yeah,
more
during
energy.
COVID, I was producing Red Voodoo, and we had Rise Up, which did really well. And then now, kind of handed them over to Sammy Hagar, and he's doing whatever he's doing with them. I'm really proud of JT Lux. He's in Nashville, working on new stuff. I developed JT from his original thing that he was doing that fell apart, Tonic Zephyr, and then I helped him, encourage him to become a singer himself. And man, he's singing great. He's in Nashville writing songs, working in the studio. Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of different things.
Yes. Yes. As I say, I feel like you never sleep and you have boundless energy. You're out of bounds when it comes to energy.
My poor wife has had to put up with it.
Well, as long as she can sleep when she wants to, I guess that's okay. That's how my wife and I work.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I get a second wind at 11 p.m., she's going to bed regardless if I'm staying up till 3 in the morning doing something. But
yeah. Are you a night owl?
what's that?
Are you a night owl?
Sometimes, yeah, it's weird. Like I'll get sleepy or tired, sometimes like 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. And I think, oh man, I just want to call it a night. And then 10 o'clock, I'm wide awake again. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to trip on the scheduling and stuff, and you just got to go with what your body's telling you, man. But since I've gotten older now, I'm more of a morning person. I've been up early. I got up 9 o'clock this morning and been outside doing stuff. And mornings have become a good time for me lately.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit before we lose too much time. So let's talk about because Tesla, of course, you're on a little bit of a break now. I think you fire up again in January, though. I think I saw a bunch of tweets, including Milwaukee and Minnesota. I'm thinking that's pretty brave going there in January.
I don't know whose bright ideas those are. With Tesla, I'm not, I'm not in charge of the booking, but we are starting in Florida, which is pretty smart because it'll be great weather in Florida in January. And we've got some great shows. I think we're doing 2 nights in Tampa. And, I'm very grateful for what Tesla is able to still do. And the songs that we wrote back 30 years ago are still important to people enough to where they want to come hear them live, and they buy tickets to hear us sing What You Give and Modern Day Cowboy and Changes and Signs and Love Song and all those songs. I'm very grateful for that, to where we can sell out residencies at Las Vegas and 2 nights in Tampa and still go on tour and go to Milwaukee and Minnesota in the middle of winter.
Right. Well, Tesla, I mean, it's, that's always been an amazing band. I've probably told you this before, but when I was working at the radio station, that's when we got exactly. And let's hope forever is still a very long time.
Yeah.
But when Geffen Records sent out the promo of Little Susie on one side and Modern Day Cowboy on the other, the day that it came in, that was one of the things I did when I got to the station each night was listen to the new stuff that arrived that day. And so I put Modern Day Cowboy on, and from that first note, I was like, oh my God, this is something special. And then once Jeff's voice kicked in too, I was like, holy cow, this is possibly now going to take the #2 spot in my all-time favorite bands forever, So
wow, man.
Yeah, I listened to that. Amazing. I flip it over. Little Susie's on the other side. I'm like, and that to me, showed 2 different flavors of the band just within those 2 songs right there, I thought. And
what radio station was it that you were working at, Ralph? Where
it was called WVVX. It was in Chicago, 103.1 FM.
Okay, well that makes sense, man. I can I see that, Ralph. Okay, yeah, we had great love for Chicago, Milwaukee, the Midwest, Des Moines, Iowa, Indianapolis, that whole area of the Midwest. So that makes sense why you're such a fan, man. Well, that's awesome, Ralph.
Yeah, blew me away that and every record since. Was that?
So you're at the radio station. Do you remember when they sent out a rock box? It had each vinyl single in a purple box, the Mechanical Resonance Radio Promotion rock box.
Yeah, we got one at the station. I didn't end up with it, but we got one.
Did you guys get the I Teslafy 45 single that they sent out? I think it was Al Curry or some of those promo guys at Geffen made a thing called I Teslafy. It was crazy.
I don't remember that. I remember being intrigued though with the promo material because sadly I was not familiar with Nikola Tesla. Really, I didn't know anything about the guy. You guys gave me a history lesson besides a great musical lesson.
Well, that's why we loved the name so much, was we had never heard of Nikola Tesla either. And we were reading a book that Cliff Bernstein had given us. Tom Zutaut had a book called Man Out of Time, and it had all these amazing photographs of Nikola Tesla, controlling lightning and changing the world. We read about how he invented radio and all this crazy stuff. And the fact that we had never heard of him is what intrigued us about using the name for our band.
Yeah. Well, it was a great choice. And like I say, it was a history lesson because I'm like, Tesla, with the promo stuff, I'm like, I got to read up on this guy, So it actually did make me look up who he was. And and found out about the Tesla coil and all that. All thanks to you guys. You would have thought my love of hard rock and heavy metal music would send me to a history book, you know?
Hey, same here. Same here. And we got really into it. We wrote a song called Edison's Medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a lot of facts in there. We named the album Mechanical Resonance. And I'll tell you, not too far from where you were at that time, in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, there was a school teacher who was using Nikola Tesla to teach his elementary school students about how to read and write, using them to do reports and stuff for his class. And he got involved with us, and we petitioned the Smithsonian Institute to put a bust and a statue of Nikola Tesla in the Smithsonian, because he wasn't ever recognized in the Thomas Edison wing of the Smithsonian. And we got over 100,000 signatures for that through the University of Michigan. This was back in 1987 when we were doing all that.
That's cool.
But now people know who Tesla is a lot more now. And there's with the Tesla car and the awareness that has come out about Nikola Tesla and his contribution to the world of electricity in our world today.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. But Tesla, great band. So yes, you should be very proud. And to me, you've continued to make just excellent records. I know Love Song and all those types of songs are very important to people, of course. But, even newer stuff, like the Simplicity record, to me, I thought was fantastic. I loved it.
Really? Me too. Yeah. We worked really hard on it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, MP3, just kind of made me laugh thinking about that, because, it's like, we're of a certain age where that, but there was a lot of beautiful songs on that record, I thought.
There's that album called Life is a River that was a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
That was a record that, and then So Divine, I think, is on there. That's a record that kind of got overlooked a little bit for whatever reasons, but most bands, great bands, whatever, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Scorpions, or whatever, Def Leppard, they have a 10-year launch. I call it chapters. Mm-hmm. It's like the first chapter of a band that, like Van Halen, everyone loves that first chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
Loves Tesla's first chapter. And then we've got these other chapters of music that we put out that we touch on in the show. We play a song or two from those newer records. But it's no different than any other band. The fans and the people love that first chapter that got them hooked in the first place.
Right. No, I get that.
I've come to terms with that.
I just love when bands continue to create new music, though. Like, of course, do I love hearing, Dream On still or something? Of course. But I also love, or in Tesla's case, do I still, What You Give, I think, is one of the greatest songs ever written. So does that still move me when I listen to it? Of course. But I also want to hear new stuff from my favorites too, which a lot of people. Go ahead.
I'm with you. I'm a fan. I love to hear new music too by the artists. In fact, I stumbled on last night a new single by Judas Priest.
Oh yeah, they've got 2 out now from the upcoming record. They're killer.
Yeah, it's called Panic Attack, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, and Trial by Fire is the other.
What is it? Through the Fire? What's it called?
Trial by Fire is the other one they released.
Fire, yeah. I was rocking out to that last night, and that song Panic Attack was rocking me, man. It was reminding me of Painkiller.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. I love both tracks. Yeah, they're great. They're great. And Paul Rodgers, his new record is killer too. Have you heard that? Paul Rodgers? Paul Rodgers.
I haven't heard that, but I know the Stones have a killer new album, and heck, the Beatles just released something, right?
Yep. I know, it's amazing. And the Beatles track is pretty cool, actually. It may not be their greatest song, but I got to tell you, for me, as soon as I heard it and I heard John Lennon's voice again, even though I know it's from, eons ago, it just kind of took me to a special place anyway, just hearing a vocal from him that I hadn't heard before.
Yeah, that coupled with the music, as the song progresses, it gets better and it goes into some like major to minor chord changes that really, I mean, it's Beatles all the way, and the orchestration that's on it. I mean, Paul McCartney. I mean, oh yeah, that was a really great release, and that's always exciting, man. And I got my fingers crossed that Aerosmith and Steven Tyler's going to get better. I saw a post from Steven Tyler that he was in the studio remixing something. He said, my voice may be shot right now, but my ears still work.
Right.
So,
I saw that too. It sounds like he's working on the first Aerosmith record because it said Aerosmith.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good to see him in the studio, and I got faith that he'll make a comeback, and yeah, who else has new music? Blackberry Smoke keeps putting new stuff out. The last Tesla track we did, Time to Rock, really kept us going all year last year. The Time to Rock tour, we played that song all year long, and it really did well for us as a single.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great song. Great song. And I love the video that you shot right here by my house for that song. I was at that show as well. Yeah, great stuff. And that's something that I did want to ask you about. And since we're just talking Aerosmith, perfect segue. So Full Throttle Live, you did a cover of Too Bad, S.O.S. Too Bad.
Right.
And pretty cool. And you shot that video in your garage, I guess, your home studio.
We recorded the music and the video both in one day in my garage. Yes. And the reason we did that is
kind of like a live track, right? I said you approached it like a live track. Yeah.
It's a live track that we recorded live in my garage. I mean, we practiced the song maybe 2 or 3 times, and we hit record and captured it. That was one of the very first times that Steve Brown and the band actually rehearsed in my garage like the old days. Brian Wheat set up his little studio upstairs, and I had my studio downstairs. We recorded it on mine, and then we took the files and put it upstairs on his, and we produced it in a matter of, hours. But nice. The reason we wanted to do that is we wanted a bonus track on the live album, and Aerosmith Live Bootleg is one of our favorite albums, and in particular S.O.S. from that Aerosmith Live Bootleg is such a killer track. So when I suggested it to Jeff Keith, asked him if he wanted to do it, he didn't hesitate. He was like, hell yes, I love that song. So it came together very naturally.
Yeah, and it's a great version, great take on it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love it. So that's been the newest album, came out this year, obviously. And then we've got the studio tracks of Cold Blue Steel and Time to Rock that are more recent releases. Is there anything cooking maybe for 24 to bring together a bunch of studio tracks and create a new studio record?
Well, from what I know about 2024 is that we are going to release a vinyl version of Reel to Reel. It's cool. Been remastered for vinyl. And so Reel to Reel is an album. It's the first album we did with Dave Rude, of tribute album of cover tunes. And Brian did a lot of work on remastering it for vinyl. So on Record Store Day, that's going to come out. We do have another song that we wrote last year that Jeff and I put together, but I'm not sure if we're going to get it recorded this year or not. It's a beautiful song. It's called All About Love, but I don't know. It's very difficult to coordinate everybody at this time. We're more in touring mode right now. So I know we got a lot of concert dates that we're doing. It's called the Keeping It Real Tour. And it's hard to juggle those modes. So I think we're going to be doing mostly tour dates. And I'm not sure about the new music. But I will say that each guy like Brian Wheat, myself, Dave Rude, we have other projects musically that we're putting out. Like I know Brian has a band. I think they're called Violet, like the color Violet Breed, I believe. And he's excited to put that out. He's written songs with his singer. Dave Rude has just put out a new solo album that he's probably going to want to do some stuff with,
Right.
Some singles and maybe some shows. I've got a tribute video that I'm going to put out in February of a classic Gary Wright song that I recorded and did a video for, along with 3 other songs that I've written. One song that I wrote about Dickie Betts that I'm really proud of. It's called Given Time, and it's a beautiful song. I want to get that done, and I'd like to put that out in February. So I think, honestly, the guys in the band individually are going to be putting out some creative new music as solo artists. And I don't know if we're going to get to any new Tesla music. I'm not sure. I can't honestly predict that.
Sure. Well, as a fan, I look forward to new material whenever you guys can get it out there.
Hey, well, I appreciate you, Ralph, and I'm really glad to be on Radio Bypass, and I'm glad that there's people out there like you that keep it alive and give us a vehicle to share it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's been great having Frank Hannon here. If you're in Florida, the Allman Betts Family Revival that he's part of is on December 10th, 12th, and 13th, all in Florida. And who knows, maybe you'll end up deciding to do a few more of those dates. But for now, that you can see Frank there. Tesla hits the road again in January, starting in Florida, then New Mexico, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and good old Minnesota. Great place to be in January, nice and warm. And Tesla's most recent live album, if you haven't checked it out by now, Full Throttle Live, with a great remake of S.O.S. Too Bad from the almighty Aerosmith.
Yes, sir.
I guess that's it for now, Frank.
And Fool's Delight is coming on December 6th.
Yeah. Let's not forget. Yeah, December 6th, Fool's Delight. And that's probably when this interview will come out as well. Perfect. So be sure to check that out. Great song. I've had the pleasure of hearing it live when Frank was making the video. Very cool song. So check that out. And I was looking at something else I was going to add to that. Fool's Delight. Yep, December 6th. So yeah. So I guess that's everything. And to keep up with Tesla's tour dates, of course, visit TeslaTheBand.com. And you guys usually keep your social media updated as well, it looks like.
Yeah. And one more thing. We're going to be in Reno, Nevada with the Greg Golden Band opening for us in March. Yeah.
Yes.
I keep forgetting your local connection there. So yeah.
March 23rd for that date, I believe. Let me just double check real quick because I have tickets for that.
Greg Golden Band is opening the show in Reno, Nevada with Tesla.
March 23rd, Reno, Nevada, at the lovely Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. And that's cool. I did not know, I don't think, when I bought the tickets, because I bought those a while ago, that Greg Golden was opening. And Greg Golden, if you guys listen to my music show every week, you've heard his music. That guy's phenomenal too. And you've produced all their stuff, right?
I did produce 2 albums for Greg Golden. Yep. Yeah, he's a great guitar player, great band. So it's going to be a great time. Radio Bypass. I love you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Frank. It was a pleasure. And everybody, check out Fool's Delight. Brand new music from Mr. Frank Hannon.
I reached in my pocket and I pulled out a buck. Said, come on, honey, you wanna fire it up? And she said no. Well, that's okay, got another plan. Got a paradise in my other hand, and I'm ready to roll. Check 1, 2, now maybe 3. Love a little lady when you smile at me. It's 6:30, don't make me late. 'cause I've been down that road before, too many times. But I'm just a guy like to have some fun. Sure don't wanna hurt no one except myself. Strike 1, 2, now make it 3. Love a little lady when you smile at me. Come on baby, let's do it again. And get on the bus about 9:45. In the middle of the night, it's gonna be alright. By the neon lights, it's a fool's delight. A fool's delight. Oh, pick a guitar. For a couple of days, Lord knows I gotta change my ways, 'cause it ain't right. And I don't know, but I've been told it's better to die before you get old. But that's a lie. 1, 2, now make it 3. Love a little lady when you smile at me. My ears are ringing like an old church bell. Maybe I belong in this hell. In the morning light, gotta get it right. The sun's shining bright, it's a fool's delight. In the middle of the night, it's gonna be alright. By the neon lights, what a fool's delight. What a fool's delight.